2023 Board of Douglas County Commissioners 5:30 business meeting. We want to welcome those of you who are here with us in the old courthouse and also those who are joining us online. Some of you may be here to provide public comment. Board of Douglas County Commissioners welcomes public comment in advance. Thanks you with these following procedures. Each action item on the agenda will offer an opportunity for relevant public comment about that topic. We ask that you wait until the agenda item you're here for comes up for discussion. Comments relating to agenda items are welcome after the board has had an opportunity to discuss the topic. The Board of County Commissioners will invite comments on topics not on the agenda during general public comment directly after considering the consent agenda. This is a time for addressing issues not on today's agenda, but related to the general business of the Douglas County Commission. We'll call first for folks who are here in person and then turn to online commenters who are here with us tonight. If you're on Zoom, please plan to use the raise your hand function when the time comes and listen for staff to call your name. All comments will be limited to 3 minutes, and we ask everyone to give their full name and Douglas County residence for our meeting minutes. All public comments should be directed to the County Commission. Campaigning for public office is not allowed. We also reserve the right to mute and remove any speaker who is vulgar, rude, or inappropriate. The public should also know that comments received by the Commission during our meetings do not represent the views of Douglas County government. If visual aids are used during the meeting, the presenter will share their screen. Please know that online participants will not be able to view them without a computer, smartphone, or tablet during tonight's meeting. Materials are published online for your reference as well. Lastly, a recording of this meeting will be available on our YouTube page and website. Our agenda tonight begins with a consent agenda. Well, actually, we'll start with a proclamation and then our consent agenda items. We'll then do general public comment. We have one item on our regular agenda, which is information on the Treasurer's Office service fee. And then we'll finish up with appointments, Commissioner and Administrator miscellaneous before we adjourn. Sarah, it might be noted on the agenda we have your memo is under appointments. Yep. All right, so let's begin with our proclamation for youth and drug. Let me start over. For Youth, Drug, and Alcohol Prevention Month. Do we have anybody here? Great, awesome. I'll go ahead and read the proclamation. If you'd like to make some comments, you're welcome, and then we'll have your signed proclamation for you. This proclamation declares October to be Youth, Drug, and Alcohol Prevention Month in Douglas County, Kansas, to honor and remember those who experience substance use disorder and to declare that we as a county must do more to end this public health crisis. Whereas more than 106,000 persons in the United States died from drug-involved overdoses in 2021, and whereas drug overdose is now the leading cause of injury death in the United States, and whereas in 2021, 678 Kansans died of drug overdose deaths, leaving behind countless family members, friends, and loved ones. And whereas Engage Douglas County is committed to providing support, education, and resources to prevent youth substance misuse and promote connectedness within our families, schools, and communities with the goal of reducing the risk of substance use disorder in our county's young people. Engage Douglas County upholds the commitment through a variety of programs, including youth empowerment and prevention, chapters in Douglas County middle and high schools, the Sources of Strength Upstream Youth Prevention Program, the Safe Medication Disposal Partnership with Auburn Pharmacy, Baldwin City, Auburn Pharmacy Eudora, Jayhawk Pharmacy at LMH West, LMH Health, and Watkins Health Services, and the Handle with Care initiative in Baldwin City, Eudora, and Lawrence Public Schools. And whereas Engage Douglas County is committed to reducing the negative consequences of youth substance misuse before they occur through ongoing outreach, education, and training. And whereas Douglas County joins with others across the state of Kansas and nationwide in providing support for individuals experiencing substance use disorder, the advocates and organizers who serve them, and celebrating those in recovery. And whereas anyone can join this campaign by pledging to wear a red ribbon or the color red the week of October 23rd to October 31st to help raise awareness about drug prevention and honor those who have lost their lives to drug overdose. And whereas we renew our commitment to reduce youth substance misuse and pledge to do all we can to help our youth feel connected to their community and encourage them to live substance-free. Now, therefore, it be resolved that the Board of Douglas County Commissioners in Douglas County, Kansas hereby proclaim October 2020 2023 to be Youth, Drug, and Alcohol Prevention Month and encourage all Douglas County residents to support their local community's efforts to prevent youth substance misuse. Adopted the 25th day of October 2023. Welcome to come up here if you'd like to make any comments. Make sure you push the button and it'll turn green.
Thank you. How's that? Awesome. Hi, my name is Lydia Fuquay. I work at DECA, and tonight I'm representing Engage Douglas County. We're a youth substance misuse and suicide prevention coalition, and we serve all of Douglas County. And I want to say thank you for proclaiming October Youth, Drug, and Alcohol Prevention Month and helping us to spread awareness of the risks associated with youth substance use, support those on their journey to recovery, and remind our community that recovery from addiction is possible and likely with support and resources. And I also just want to share for anybody who's interested that Engage Douglas County is a community coalition, which means all are welcome. So if you're interested in taking action on this topic, we welcome you to join us. Thank you.
Thank you, Olivia. And Commissioner Willie will hand you your proclamation. Okay, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Commissioners, do any of you have items? Any items you'd like to have removed from the consent agenda for further discussion?
So, Mr. Chair, I'd actually heard from a member of the audience here who'd like to remove 2.3. Is that correct?
2.3. Okay. Any others, commissioners? Any other members of the audience like to have an item removed for further discussion? Sarah, anyone online? Okay. So I would take a motion for items with the exception of item 2.3.
Commissioner Reed, I move to approve items 2.1, 2.2, 2.4, 2.5, and 2.6.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Commissioner Willie, let's take a look at 2.3.
So I believe we actually have Chad Boyd online, or I saw his name up there briefly. Do you start with him or start with the community member who wanted to pull the item?
Chad, let's go ahead and give a little background on the item, if you would.
Okay, and sorry, my voice is maybe going to be rough with fighting the bug here, but let me know if I need to repeat anything. And I assume we're talking about the purchase of a tractor, is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so this is the tractor that we lost this year in an accident on Route 1061. It was rear-ended by a vehicle, and the tractor was totaled, and the driver had to take a trip to the hospital. And that tractor has been out of commission all year, so it put a little bit of a burden on us for getting mowing done. But this replacement is an identical tractor to what was damaged, and it is a hefty price tag. It includes a boom mower, which is also a fairly expensive piece of equipment. It's a full-size mower, and it's got an air-conditioned cab. We want a big tractor because they're on the side of the road. It's got to be able to do some pretty hefty work. So that's as much as I know about it. I'm happy to hear what the comments are, and then maybe we can address those too.
Commissioners, any questions for Chad?
Chad, I do have a quick question before we move to public comment. Since this was the tractor that was in the accident, is there also an insurance claim, and is that does that have anything to do with replacing the exact tractor? Is there something that would take off of the $191,899 price tag?
There is an insurance claim, and I think we're getting an amount probably less than the purchase, but we're still waiting to see what that'll be. You know, the tractor was totaled, and so I'm not sure how that is going to balance out. But I really don't see a way. You know, it's a more expensive purchase now than it was 3 years ago.
Commissioners, I would add that there's subrogation related to this claim, so it'll probably be in a while before we settle the claim, so I don't have an exact settlement amount for you yet.
Thanks, Chad. Thanks, Sarah. Any other questions? Okay. I think we have some public comment on this item. We'll welcome public comment. You got it.
Placement. My name's Tim Horn, Willow Springs Township trustee, and I was just kind of concerned because about a year and a half ago, we replaced our boom tractor, and we replaced it with 130 horse tractors, identical, but it's different make. We put out 4 bids for the different implement dealers in the area to get our best price. And then we bought a boom mower, brand new one from Martin Tractor in Topeka. And we're $175,000 or $75,000, sorry, difference from the price that they're purchasing this one from to the one we just replaced. I know the 6130M is a large tractor, but it has the premium cab. I don't know if there's a reason we need a premium cab, because you can buy more economical. The E that has the same air conditioning and pretty well all the entities, but not quite as much as the M. But if they're replacing identical, I can understand that. I didn't know there was an insurance claim. There was nothing here saying it was a replacement from an accident. That was my only concern. I appreciate the time to do this. Chad, sorry, appreciate your time and everything, but I just wanted to verify, because $75,000 to taxpayers, I'm always getting questioned on the street at meetings, why is my taxes so high? And try to appease that the best we can. And appreciate your time.
Thank you. All right, commissioners, is there any other public comment on this item? Anyone online? Okay, bring it back up to the commission for discussion and/or motions.
So I do always appreciate if a member of the public has a question or something that's on the consent agenda. That's why it's here. So I was glad for you to bring it up and glad for us to get a little bit more information on it than what we had in the packet. So I think it's a good process. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Commissioner Willie. Would you like to make a motion?
I move to approve the purchase of a 2023 John Deere tractor model 6130M with a diamond boom mower attachment for the Public Works Operation Division in the amount of $191,899.50.
Second?
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 3-0. Chad, thanks for being here.
All right, thank you.
All right. We'll move on to general public comment. Is there anyone who'd like to provide general public comment this evening? Okay. Anyone online, Sarah? Seeing none, we'll close general public comment and move on to the regular agenda, which is information. Oh, wait.
Someone just raised their hand. Oh, you want me to move them?
Back down. Is it still up?
Yep, it is.
All right.
I'll promote.
We
Greg.
appreciate general public comment, so let's take it.
Greg Nice, we're moving you into the panel. Greg, you're in the panel. You can come off mute and provide your public comment. Greg, you need to unmute yourself to provide your public comment.
Yep.
May have been an
Okay,
accidental.
Okay, here,
Greg?
I'm sorry about that. All right,
That's
so
okay.
I was at the planning meeting till 11 o'clock. We left. I don't know what they ended up doing. Did they decide to submit to you a proposal for the wind turbine regs or not?
So we'll go a little out of order here, Greg. Usually we just take public comment and don't answer questions, but
Okay, that's fine.
I'm
But is
good.
that on the
It's
agenda
okay.
tonight? Because I couldn't
It-
find the
it-
agenda.
Yeah, it's okay. We know you were up late on Monday night, so we'll give you a bit of a break. That was a joke. The Planning Commission deferred their discussion. They have another meeting this evening. We don't act on it at our meeting until they provide us a recommendation,
Yeah, I
and then
didn't-
it will come to our agenda.
Okay, I didn't know if they passed that Monday night or not. That's what I didn't know.
Yep, they did not. They didn't take it up. They just took public comment and they're continuing their discussion this evening.
I
So do you
believe
have
it's
any
in-
timeline when that'll be on your plate?
I believe it's anticipated for January back at the Planning Commission, so I have no idea what the timeline is to get here. Sarah, would that be correct?
Thank you,
That's the
Greg.
best I have at this point, so I would just say that Mr. Nice, it's still at Planning Commission. And
All
I
right,
think there's
that's,
still,
that's what I want to know, because I thought it was on your agenda tonight.
no,
Nope.
sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now we'll move to our regular agenda item, information on the Treasurer's Office service fee.
Thanks, Commissioners. Our Treasurer, Adam Rains, is going to be here to discuss the item.
Good evening, everyone. So here to kind of have a discussion about the satellite fees that we currently charge at our satellite office is $5. Some of that revenue that it generates goes into our motor vehicle fund. Ideally, the motor vehicle fund is operates our entire motor vehicle operations. That's not true. Unfortunately, we do have to provide property taxes to support that. Every state in Kansas is in the same situation we are, where the revenue from the motor vehicle transactions do not provide enough fund or enough money for operations. So looking at this, we are trying to come up with a different strategy rather than the $5 at our satellite fee. We'll have our new office potentially ready to go in March. The state of Kansas has asked us to get back to them by the end of October for changes in any fees that we want to do. So my recommendation is, I guess not my recommendation, what I would like to do, what I will do, because it is a decision made by the treasurer. I'm just here to kind of have a discussion with you all about it, see if you have any other ideas on what we could do. But I want to charge $3 at all locations. That way it makes it a even playing field. Our new office will be larger. It'll have better parking, have better waiting space. It'll have more clerks. So I think trying to move people out of this building because it's not the best for waiting. We don't have a great area. People gather in the rotunda. People are on stairs. People ask the clerk's office for questions and stuff like that. So I think if we charge $3, it'll make it fair, and it'll also increase our revenues a little bit by about $90,000. So it'll give us a little bit of a boost in the motor vehicle fund.
Adam, I think it's important to note that for anyone listening, that if you complete your renewal online or via mail, you do not pay the fee.
Yes, so online or mail, you don't pay the fee. Dropbox, whatever you would like. We also have the ability to waive those fees. We currently do it at our 31st Street office. So if we see someone with mobility, accessibility issues with, veterans, disabled veterans, handicap placards, we automatically waive those fees because we know coming here is not the most ideal. Parking isn't great, especially for those with the handicap placards. You're still walking a good distance to get into the building. So we have that ability to waive those fees. Something that's also been mentioned of putting a max on it. So maybe $3 until you reach 21. At $21, you don't pay anything over that. So we've had some of those discussions, and just kind of open to any of your thoughts or inputs. about the satellite fees or what we could do different?
Yeah, any questions maybe for Adam before we get into comments?
I just want to ask one clarifying question for anybody who might be listening. So it has been a $5 fee at satellite locations, which historically is the 31st Street location, Baldwin City location, correct? There's been some others in the past, but those are the two current ones. And then, well, is 31st Street closed yet? No,
Not yet.
it's not yet until we open the other one. Sorry, my brain tripped up a bit. So that $5 fee is changed. You're suggesting that it changed to $3 and that this location, this building also has a $3 fee. You are not suggesting an additional $3 on top of the $5. We received some public comment in response to the newspaper article that I think that may have been conveyed or understood by some people that it was an additional fee, but that's not true, correct, Adam?
That is not true. We will go from $5 to $3. So those individuals who walk in pay $5 now. In January 2024, it'll go to $3. So there will not be an additional fee. It'll be reduced from 5 to 3, but then charged at all locations.
Yeah. And so I think just to spell it out and put a point on it, that it being charged at all 3 locations and that at that fair adjusted price, the reason that it will result in an increase in revenue is because it's an additional location that it's going to be charged at, correct?
Correct. At our satellite office, we do about 25,000 transactions that we collect that fee on. If we charge at all locations, we're looking at about 70,000 transactions. So it does increase quite a bit.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for spelling that out.
Yep.
I do appreciate you kind of clarifying that this is your decision as an elected official. I appreciate you bringing it to us to just bounce some ideas around, and that helps get it back in front of the public too, and gets the kind of additional media attention so that people understand it. And I'm glad that you kind of highlighted, and I want to highlight it again, that there are free ways. I mean, there are ways to pay this without having a fee, and that is the online or in the mail. And then you mentioned a Dropbox. Where are the Dropbox locations?
So there's one out at 31st Street in the corner of the parking lot, in the northeast corner of the parking lot. And then we have one out here at the courthouse on the south end of the building. It's just kind of a drive-through, drop it off. We're able to process transactions a lot quicker that way. That's why there's no fee associated with it. Individuals coming in, it just takes time, for them to make the payment, find their insurance, to call them up to a window. So all that takes time. And there's transactions that have to be done in person. The titles have to be done in person. Renewals don't. You can submit your insurance with your renewal form. You can go online to get that renewal form. You can call us to get your amount. And the only thing you have to turn into us is your insurance. We can pull all the information off there. So really, insurance and payment is all you need to send to us. And we can do that online, or we can do that in office and mail it out to you. Usually we can get those out the next day.
That's good to know. And I assume when the 31st Street office closes and the new location opens, that the Dropbox at 31st Street will also be moved?
Yes, we will have a Dropbox at the new location. We're working on where to place that. So we're trying to get something you can drive through, throw it in Dropbox, and that way you have to get out of your car. But we're looking at putting a Dropbox at the new location.
Thank you.
Adam, you said a title is the only thing you have to come in for in person. Yeah, why is that?
Ideally, you will come in person just because there's a lot of little things we have to look for, making sure information is correct. There's a lot of signatures we have to collect, so you have to sign the title, you have to sign a signature form, and then the amounts can vary too. It can be difficult to get a correct amount when you're doing it by mail because they might not submit everything. So we're looking at sales tax, we're looking at making sure we have the correct vehicle and electric and hybrid. There's just a lot of little things that go into building that record. So we say those are the only things you have to come in person to do because they're more complex, they take more time, and they take an individual to kind of have that conversation. Ask the person if it's electric, because a lot of times your title's not going to tell you if it's electric or a hybrid or anything like that. It's a conversation you have to have with that person. So if we do it by mail, it is possible, but it does take more time. especially when, we get busy, the customer doesn't respond, they're busy, they got life going on too. So it just takes a longer time, and it's a little easier, more efficient to do it in person.
And can you share with all of the listening public we have here the address for the 6th Street location? And you said it might be open about March.
It'll be open potentially in March. The address would be 2601 West 6th Street. We'll have, kind of that center building there. Hopefully it's open by March is, I think, the projected goal right now. But again, it's a big construction job, so things could vary by then. I also want to mention too that we looked at other counties to see what they were charging. Surrounding counties, I think Douglas County, are in a bit of a gap. The next largest one, it would be Shawnee County, which has way more than we do. And then the next smallest to us is Riley County, and they're significantly smaller than us. So we looked at some of those counties, all the large ones, Johnson, Wyandotte, Sedgwick, Shawnee, all charge $5 at all locations. Some of the smaller ones like Osage, Jackson, Lyon, Jefferson, they don't charge anything, no fee. A lot of those counties don't have a satellite office. They're just the one office. And then we have Franklin County, who charges $1. So we did look at surrounding counties to kind of come up with what we thought was fair and enough to provide us revenue for that fund.
Questions or comments? We actually have on our agenda a motion, but I don't think we need to make a motion here to approve the charge. Right, okay. So this would be for information purposes only. Anything else, commissioners? Any public comment on this item? Anyone online, Sarah? Okay.
Last thing I want to mention, I will submit this to KDOR on Monday. So if you all have any additional questions or feedback or anything, we can have that discussion. But I plan on doing that Monday. That way they have time to get some coding done.
Just make one last comment and say, first of all, that I'm happy to pay fees like this and find them to be reasonable. I do, like you said, most easy transactions, I will just do them at the Dropbox or online. But I've had a few occasions in the past year or two where coming in and being in conversation with somebody and doing the transaction in person was really valuable. So I think that it's a fair fee. And I just also want to appreciate, Adam, that you were thoughtful about sort of spreading that cost out across the locations and reducing the amount of the fee while still being able to increase revenues. So I think you could have easily just said, added one more location that was also a $5 fee. And it could have increased revenues a little bit, but I think it's a fair and balanced approach that you took. So I appreciate that. I also like the number 3. I think it has good vibes. So I'll just leave you with that. That one's for you, Commissioner Kelly.
Thank you, Adam. I know we made a significant investment in the new facility, and so I want to encourage people to go there, and by lowering the fee, I think we will. So thank you. Okay, that's it for our regular agenda. Commissioners, do we have appointments this evening? I don't think we do. All right, we'll move to Commissioner and Administrator Miscellaneous, and we typically start with Sarah's memo, which is now attached in the right spot.
Thanks, Commissioners. My memo is attached to the packet, basically just updated information on it. I do want to, I had staff put some information related to the community events we hosted last week and the number of folks who attended our event, A Journey of Healing and Hope, with guest speaker Kevin Kling. We've had really good reports from folks that participated in the event. We had over 120 people attend the performance in the Thursday evening, and then additional 300 well, 320 people total attended all the events over 2 days, and really appreciate the work of Carrie Britt and Bob Tryansky, as well as other staff, to really put that event on. And I think it was really good for the community to have a chance to reflect on some of the progress we've made on behavioral health over the last couple of years. Next week, we have a work session. We're preparing for a 6-month update on the Treatment and Recovery Center. I missed them.
Yeah.
No, that's right.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh,
That's
it's
next
week, November 1st?
November.
So yeah, that's November 1st. That's all I have, commissioners.
Thank you, Sarah. I will just say that I was lucky enough to attend 2 of Kevin's conversations, I guess, his storytelling, and I really appreciate. I know it was an ask from the school district to include Kevin at that event, and it was well received, and really appreciate him taking the time out to do that. Any other items, commissioners? All right, we are adjourned.